Welcome to the final festival tournament.
Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Darth Cinema, and here we are at RWBY Chapter 5, Never Miss a Beat. So, this episode starts off really with a little bit of good news. So, for those of you who are big PC gamers, RWBY Grim Eclipse is now on Steam Early Access, so definitely pick that up. This looks like a fantastic game, especially, it looks like very much like, I want to say like the Dynasty Warriors aspect, where it's just hack and slash. I love those games. I love everything about them, and this game looks absolutely fantastic. And I hear rumors that they'll be adding more characters as it goes on. Right now, it just looks like we have the main team. But if you have that, if you're interested in grabbing that game, take a look on Steam Early Access. You might be able to pick that up. So this episode was really, really weird, guys. I did not expect this to go the way it did. So it's very much back to the tournament aspect, and we end up joining during Penny's fight. Penny is in the doubles, and it's just like it's nice to see her be able to fight again, especially after when have we seen her fight? It's been a while though, since season 1, or if she fought in volume 2, let me know, because I don't remember it off the top of my head at this point. We also get to see her teammate, which I believe her name is pronounced Ciel. I get the feeling that she's very time-focused. We never get to see her fight. It's very much in this, at the end of this fight, we are seeing Penny doing all the work. But throughout the short time we see Ciel, she's very much focused on her watch. Like, she's looking at it constantly. And this is evident later when we see Penny talking to RWBY. That, I think, is probably the most humorous part of, one of the most humorous parts of the episode. I say the most humorous, but then with what we're going into later, I don't know if I'd call it that just yet, but we get RWBY and everyone's watching the fight. RWBY rushes down to congratulate Penny, and probably the most humorous moment, Penny is so enthusiastic, she runs and just jumps at RWBY for a hug and just knocks her down completely. So that was funny. We get to learn a little bit more that Ciel is kind of like a bodyguard in some respects, so I don't know if you'd need anyone to actually guard Penny, considering how well she fights. I think they said it's like, Penny describes it as if Blake was forced to spend time with you, and RWBY just says, "Oh, so Weiss." Exactly. And then, yeah, they literally asked, Penny asked for a minute to talk to RWBY, and Ciel literally is standing there, looking at her watch for the entire duration of the conversation, measuring down 1 minute. And apparently Ciel doesn't know she's a robot. Ironwood's apparently keeping that on a need-to-know basis, and though they do cut to a humorous moment back in the village where, back in, like, the market, where, when Penny's talking about incident with the magnet, and we see her wearing this gigantic hat, the wind's blowing a little bit, and we see this huge magnet stuck to her hair, which I think is actually really, really funny. I was waiting for them to do some kind of joke referencing the fact that she was a robot. But other than that, we finally get to the big fight, which takes up the majority of the episode, believe it or not. It's Yang and Weiss versus Neon Cat. Seriously, you had to throw fucking Nyan Cat in this. And it's Nyan Cat. Let's not, like, there's no two ways about it. It's like there's a rainbow trail going after her. She has, like, this cat tail or whatever. Very bright, very vibrant. And then we have Flynn. I don't think I remember his last name, because I'm watching this as I'm talking to you guys. It looks really, really funny. And they just some of the worst digs on our characters, like Flint saying to Weiss, like, basically, oh yeah, my old man used to run a dust shop till your father ran him out of business. And then you have Neon just making the biggest insults towards Yang. First of all, saying that her hair wasn't real, that they were hair extensions, and then insinuating she was top heavy, which I'm like, oh crap, you really don't want to survive this, do you? So even RWBY says, like, here we go again. It's like, yeah, we've seen this before. But it's the first time in a while that for this season that we've gotten to see Yang and Weiss fight together. It's not usually a team that we're used to, but we get to see some interesting new weapons. It really surprises me how I think you think you've seen everything in this show, and they come along with something that surprises you even more. And Flint's trumpet, it looks like it fires sound waves, which is really, really cool and really, really inventive. And Neon uses this weird, like, glow stick thing. It's like nunchucks, but they also can be charged with a certain type of dust. In which case she cracks them, they turn blue, and she manages to freeze Yang's leg and Yang's arm, which... It's interesting. I feel like they really just got lucky with a lot of with this match today. I mean, we know that I think at one point during this near the finale, they're going to be fighting Mercury and Emerald, which, judging by how quickly Emerald and Mercury defeated Team Coffee last episode, and by how much of a struggle really that Yang and Weiss had this episode, it's a little worrying to see how that's going to go. We did get to see a cool semblance from Flint, which was his, I think as Oobleck calls it, his killer quartet, which is basically 4 of him. It multiplies him into 4, and each of the sound waves is colored differently, so I would assume each one is a different type of dust that's being used in his weapon. But as it's going, it's looking like everything is going absolutely horribly wrong. Yang and Weiss are getting their asses kicked. And then we get probably the weirdest thing ever. Right as Flint is going to use his semblance to that quartet thing to use on Yang, Weiss tackles him into a geyser of fire. And it looks like it's just a double knockout, but in all reality, it's just Weiss. Weiss is the only one that gets knocked out in that time. Man, I really feel bad for her. I think she's gotten knocked out more times in this show than any other person in fights. It's really, yeah, I hope we get a time where it's like she can be the one that saves the day, but in some respects she did. They probably saved their team from losing big time in this one. Oh yes, it's Flint Cole, Neon Cap. Yep, that's Nyan Cap, I swear to God. Seriously, who let Barbara name some of these places? We had the Crow Bar from episode 1 where Crow was, and now we have this thing. We have this character. I don't even. But we find out later that Flint survived. He's literally at the line of being, like, knocked out from this case. So it's a 2-on-1 fight. But, as always, Yang gets super pissed off and manages not only to knock out Flint, like, fight past his sound waves and manage to make the trumpet backfire, but I think Neon Cat goes out in probably the most hilariously over-the-top fashion ever. She's skating down this rockway and going, like, never miss a beat, never miss a beat, never miss a beat, and then her rollerblades catch on a rock. And she's just sent flying through the air into a geyser, which sends her shooting up into the sky, where she gets smacked by one of Yang's bolts from her gauntlets. And it makes a cool fireworks effect, which I absolutely thought was hilarious. We check in on Weiss, and for once, Weiss cracks a joke. It's like, You okay? She goes, I won't be singing for a while. So, it's a bad joke, but you know what? We see a little bit of humor from her. So, yeah, and apparently there is no ill will harbored from, I think it was Team Funk. Team Funk, that's Neon and Flint's team. They really harbor no ill will towards any of them at all. In fact, I think Flint gets a little bit of a grudging respect for Weiss, given the stunt she pulled, taking herself out to try and take him out. And Neon is even like saying, "You should party with us sometime. You guys are awesome." So it's nice to see that even though they're from Atlas, there's some good sportsmanship. But I just love how these two new characters just kind of are so against what Weiss thought was Atlas. It was amazing. Then we, of course, get our obligatory Cinder scene, which does not, like always, does not bode well for this for the series at all. We've got her looking at the schematics for Penny and saying they're making a slight alteration to the plan, and that this makes it easier than they thought. And somehow I feel that they're going to find a way to dismantle Penny or disrupt some way of her fighting, which will make it much easier for them. And then we get Crow talking to Ozpin about Ironwood, and very much they're on different sides of the issue. But we get, I think, the biggest drop. I think this is I don't know if this is right, if they're just tricking us, but it makes it Ozpin's talking about choosing a guardian, and he's talking about that she's skilled. From the moment I met her, I knew she was different, and that she's ready. And then we suddenly cut to Pyrrha going to the elevator. So I don't think it's Pyrrha, though. I don't think it's Pyrrha, because unfortunately, as we saw from last season, when they saw Pyrrha fight, like, Cinder had this kind of smile on her face, like she knew what they were going to do to Pyrrha. But I think it's RWBY perfectly, to be perfectly honest, but why not? She's the main character of the whole damn show. But aside from that, let me know what you guys thought of this episode. This was a nice, funny episode. So, if there's any other things I missed, feel free to comment down below. And as always, I will see you in my next video. Take care, and I will see you next time.